Alicia is asking if a bedroom with left backside window open, what is the analysis? Lesser 贵人. Okay, that's not what we talk about. The left back is overlapping of yang yang. Okay, so that overlapping of yang yang, it means is a very strong yang's corner. So therefore, it should never be empty. Okay, should never be empty. Window open is considered empty. No support at all. So yes, analysis lesser 贵人. Okay, lesser 贵人. So it is worse than directly behind window. Because that one is extreme yang. Okay, 3:30. All right, so let's get started. I hope all of you are back already. Let's get started. Okay, so welcome back to second half of today's class. We'll move on to module 3, the 5 notes. Okay, the 5 notes. And what is 5 notes? Usually when we do form feng shui reading, right, we just read these 5 aspects of the unit. And what are these 5 aspects of the unit, which I call 5 notes, is number 1, the xue. The xue means the layer. Okay, the nest lah. And number 2, the facing. Number 3, the dragon. Okay, now this dragon, don't be confused with the qinglong. The dragon here, I do not mean the qinglong, but is the lai long. Lai long basically means the back dragon, the xuan wu. Okay, and the 360 star. 360 star is where we look at the 360 already, the 360. But still, we don't need to use luopan to read the 360. All we need to read is basically the left dragon, the front phoenix, and the right tiger. Okay, so the last one, the last note is the water formation. Water formation is the traffic flow. Okay, the flow of qi. Whether there's any flow of qi coming to your unit, or is it going out of a unit, or is it bypassing your unit, or no qi at all. So different thing, different. Lin say, what is layer again? Layer is the nest. Nest basically means your unit. Okay, your unit. So what happened here is that external form feng shui focus more on this part here. Okay, focus more on this part here. The interior form feng shui, this is the part. This is interior. This is exterior. But without this number 1, this xue, okay, there is no external to talk about. Okay, so this is the taiji point. the nest, this one is a taiji point, whereby we establish the facing, the dragon, the 360, and the water, and we read from there. Is that okay, Lin? Okay, now look at this. If you buy books or attend some other courses, when they talk about feng shui, they would like to show you this mountain picture. This mountain picture to talk about feng shui. Okay, so when we talk about the nest, the layer, this is the layer. That means the taiji point, the house, the point of intent. Okay, the point of intent, the point of focus, the point of interest, whatever you call it, is the main point for focal point. So this is a layer. And then when we talk about the, what do you call that? Facing, the facing is here. Okay, the facing is here in frontage. When we talk about the dragon, I call it the lai long. Lai long means the coming dragon. Lai long. Okay, coming dragon is, where is it coming from? The back. Okay, the back. Some house you find that behind empty, no lai long at all. So if there's no lai long at all, what does it mean? What is the implication? We will study that. And then the 360, basically means the left dragon and the right dragon. Okay, left dragon, right dragon. Because separately we already covered the back dragon and the front phoenix. Also, what is left of the 360 is just the left dragon, right tiger. And then last but not least, the 5th note is the traffic flow. You see the traffic flow here? Some this is the most ideal traffic flow lah, like that lah. Water coming inwards to the unit, okay, and there could be water flow from behind as well. All right, there could be water flow from the left side, water flow from the right side. So we must study whether this water flow is coming in or going out. Very important. Very important. Yeah. Okay, so instead of looking at pictures, let me give you a more real life kind of pictures, but it's still not a very contemporary to where we are staying right now. But just to help me explain to you the fine notes. The house itself is called the share. Okay, and this is the focal point where we establish the back dragon, the front phoenix, the left dragon, the right, the right tiger, and the water flow. And then the facing, once you establish the bright hall, you know that is the facing, it's called the xiang. And then you can also establish the back dragon, the lai long. Once you know the facing, right, 180 degree behind, it is the back dragon. Okay, and with that, once you establish the back and the front, you know the left and the right. The 360 basically means here the left dragon and the right tiger. Right? So facing is as good as called the bright hall, the Ming Tang, Ming Tang. Okay, so behind we call the Lai Long. On the left side is called the Zuo Qing Long. Right side is the Yu Bai Hu. Front is called the Xiang or the Ming Tang. And some people might call it Zhu Que. Not wrong. Not wrong. Okay. Here, example. Look at unit A. I mark out unit A. Okay, you can see the finger pointing at A. And the facing is as per described by the arrow. Now, look at the left side. If the facing is here, that means this side is the left dragon and this side is the right tiger. Okay, look at the dragon. See how the left dragon grow. It grow, it protrude out, and then go to the front and then turn back in. Turn back in. Okay, so here this is a layout, what we call dragon crossing the hall. 龙过堂, Tang means the Ming Tang. So Ming Tang is here. So the left dragon actually is coming back, going out and coming back and cross the bright hall. This is it's called 龙过堂, or loosely translated, dragon crossing the hall. Now, if let's say we are talking about unit A, opposite unit, unit A, facing is as per the arrow. So once you know the unit A, then the front and back, then we know the left side is here, the right side is here. And in this kind of layout, you look at the dragon, empty. Look at the tiger, super long. And not only super long, it goes out, go one big round, go to the front and cross the Ming Tang. So this is called tiger crossing the hall layout. Follow? Okay, so just remember, sometimes there's look at a dragon, look at a tiger, sometimes they may just cross. Okay, dragon crossing the hall or tiger crossing the hall. These are just layout. We will later on study if it's tiger crossing the hall, what does it mean? If it's a dragon crossing the hall, what does it mean? And what are the implications? Okay. Okay, then the last but not least, the last note is called the water flow. Now look at this house. Straight away, you know the only flow that the human can walk on is this path here. So this is the water flow, right? So if we look back at this picture, this image, then when we label them, I think it's very easy already. The house is called the Lie, and the left side is called the Zuo Qinglong. Right side is called the Yu Bai Hu. Behind is called the Lai Long. And in front is called the Ming Tang. Now, for the Ming Tang to work effectively, we need something else. It's called the An San, okay, called retaining wall. right? Retaining wall. I think you learn up to here is good enough because in deeper learning, right, there's something called the Chao San also. All right, that one put aside first. As long as you know Ming Tang cannot be fully open, can already. Okay, Ming Tang also need retaining wall to curtail in the qi from flowing out. Right, so that's the purpose of ansan. Now, how do we determine ansan? You know whether this ansan is good or no good. We'll talk about that later on. Okay. So basically, I've said just now, I've shown you an example of dragon crossing the hall and tiger crossing the hall. Whatever formation, what we want to do is we want to trap the wind, gather the qi, and you need a retaining mountain to do that. I repeat, you need a retaining mountain to help you trap the wind and gather the qi. Okay. So if you ask me, given the choice, dragon crossing the hall better or tiger crossing the hall better, I would say I would prefer, and most people would prefer the benefit brought about by dragon crossing the hall. Why? Because everything seems to be in the proper order. When I say seems to be in the proper order, basically means 你要贵人有贵人, right? You want supporters, your supporters. You want Chai, bigger Chai. And if you want, for example, business form, right? If you want your employees to be loyal to you, obedient to you, you have that benefits. If it's in terms of family, 婆媳之道, good balance, you have that. If you want children to be obedient, filial, you can have that also with dragon crossing the hall layout. That's why most people, most masters would recommend, if you have a choice, go for dragon crossing the hall. Tiger crossing the hall is another way that you can also trap the wind, gather the qi. But the benefits brought about by tiger crossing the hall is slightly different. It's a little bit opposite of dragon crossing the hall. So sometimes when you visit your friend and you find that, oh, 婆媳, you know what's 婆媳, right? Daughter-in-law and mother-in-law buay gam. Straight away, you look at the external form feng shui first. No need to bring out your law pan. You look at the external form feng shui. Tendency is tiger crossing the hall. Tendency. So because of these kind of side benefits, right? So most people will say, tiger crossing the hall, that kind of benefits, modern people don't like. Or most people who still prefer the benefits brought about by the dragon crossing the hall. So right now, at this point here, I'm telling you, given a choice, go for dragon crossing the hall. Darren says sometimes they tell you it's normal. Yeah, if it's normal, okay lor. Who are we to say it's not normal, right? If they are normal to them. Okay, so be it. So if you like this kind of benefit that I mentioned that brought about by the dragon crossing the hall, then go for that. Go for that. Okay. Next. Look at this very old picture of Singapore HDB development. I can't remember where it's displayed. I think somewhere in Bedok, if I'm not wrong. 2 standalone buildings like this. Now, tell me, which building has support? Thank you, Lin. Point block. Which building is better, A or B? Let me point out A or B first. A or B? Which building is better? None. Thank you, Lin. That's fast. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else has different answers from Lin? Perhaps you feel that A is better or B is better? I think it's none, right? So far. Oh. So if let's say A, talk about A first. A, you can have 2 facing, right? One is facing that side, one is facing this side, right? Right. Either way, either facing, you find that behind you got no tall buildings. Empty. Yeah. Okay, then you can't have yin and yang attraction already. Same thing for B. B also 2 way of facing. One is face here, the other one is face the back. So either facing, you don't have the front, you don't have the back. Okay, but there's a slight difference. There is a slight difference. talk about A. Talk about A. And then the facing is this part here. Okay, I draw the arrow, but longer. Facing is this part here, facing. And behind is, I put here back. Okay, behind is back. Now, then this building here is at the left back of the unit here. Can you see that? Can you see the difference? At the left back of the unit here. Now, when we say left back, right? I mean here, right? Okay, this part here. So therefore, if you have to choose A, then choose this facing. If you have to choose B, you choose the opposite facing. Why? Because building A become the left back. So that is at that time lah. At that time, if it's like that and you have to choose a unit because you've been forced to shift from kampong to HDB, then if you have to choose, then at least with feng shui information, you know what to choose first for at that time. Okay. Now, when things start to develop, buildings start to come out already, you may need to reassess the situation and then decide what is your next best move, shift or not to shift. Follow my point? Okay, when the environment change, your feng shui change. Can? Okay. Now, so here basically we just, I put these two side by side so that you know what I'm talking about already. The when we talk about the Lian, we are talking about the Zhongkong, the center palace, where the house is, the Taiji point here. Okay, and the left dragon basically means the Kan Gua. The right tiger basically means the Li Gua. The Ming Tang basically means the front phoenix. And Ming Tang, I said that here, you need a Ansan, a retaining wall. And the purpose of retaining wall, type in the chat box. Let's see whether any one of you can remember. What's the purpose of retaining wall? Type in the chat box. Lin say, hold the qi. Very good. So Lin, you remember, hold the qi. Okay. Good. And last but not least is this dragon, this Lai Long, okay, is actually the Qian Gua. So don't confuse this dragon, the back dragon and the left dragon. Don't be confused. Okay, don't be confused. The back dragon is called the Lai Long. Lai Long Qi Mai, 那个 Lai Long, the difference. Okay, so with this, if you are clear about this overarching formation, the 5 nodes, then we are ready to move on.